All right, gang, back to Tunisia here. So we finished up the third game turn, and while the front line picture doesn't look like it's moved, there has been some activity. Okay, so I want to get this chart out. Now, this is the terrain effects chart on the back of the Tunisia playbook. I don't know if there's something more updated, but there's a little thing here. So let's see. All right, salt marsh. See that asterisk? Now remember, the defender in a combat gets to choose what terrain he's in. Okay, so if you're in a hex that has salt marsh, rough, and low hills, you can obviously the defender is going to choose the low hills because he keeps his strength. All right. Um, well, certain types of units, but if he was in a salt marsh and a rough, he would. Well, he'd probably choose, I guess, the rough. Let's see. So the brackets affects only the attack only. Defense is ×1. So if he chose Salt Marsh and you were a mech on defense, okay, you would be 1. So if you were attacking, you'd be half strength. Got it? So this one over here, the asterisk. All right, for use when a road allows movement, values not in brackets affect attack and defense. All right, so that would mean on defense or offense, if you were armor, you would be half strength. So you need to be selective, about as the defender, which makes sense because you're going to set up in the terrain of your choice. All right, and obviously you don't want tanks sitting in mountainside hexes, so you want to get them down in the better terrain. So keep that in mind, and that actually played a role in the attacks that I just did here. So right here, I attack with that. What are they? New Zealanders? I don't know what they are, but them and a couple Brits under there. Did some air barrages. Did a fighter sweep. Knocked out the one ME-109 that was active right here, killed that patrol zone, and then ran bombers in here and took care of that. And then did artillery up here to do that one, but I'm not going to attack that one because he's behind a river. There's no way I'm going to punch a hole there unless I get a mass buildup of forces there, which I'm working on it. I got more coming. First Armored, they didn't move across and attack, which I probably should have moved across that river, and I didn't. Because now they can move back in there. That's a bad idea. Still hanging on with supply, still actually getting it off, but it's keeping me from bringing these darn reinforcements in up here. Fortunately, I'm getting good reinforcements down here, and I didn't have enough supply because I just dropped supply there, and I used the truck supply for the British units to move. And so these guys didn't get a chance to move. Maybe next turn. All right, so then I did this attack right here and actually got an A01 and a DL1, an A option 1, and then a DL1 option 1 for the defender. So I decided I didn't want to lose a step because it would be killing my highest AR valued unit there, so I decided to retreat. The defender had to take his DL1, but because the attacker retreated, he did not have to execute the optional one. So he ended up losing 1 unit. The attacker didn't lose anybody and backed off 1 hex. If you retreat 2 hexes, if you have that option, or you retreat 2 at the second hex, once you retreat the second hex, you become DG'd. Did not attack up there, didn't attack down here. And I stand corrected on my last video. I think I said that I asked, didn't the Allies win this? No, they did not. The Germans, the Axis were they became too effective. They had definitely had better air power in the initial stages, and I guess their forces were just more efficient and eventually stopped the Allies, and then the Allies backed off. Of course, later on, 8th Army came in somewhere way down yonder. All right, so no victory hexes taken yet. Still pushing. Still got a little bit of time left. It's still November. Got 2 more turns in November, and then we move on to Well, then we move on to December. So we still got time. All right. So that's just an update on this. We're through turn 3. Not much progression made. Casualties right there. Haven't been able to rebuild anything because I don't have any headquarters to rebuild the stuff with. I think you can rebuild if they're stacked together. Doesn't have to be a headquarters with the armor units. If they're stacked with the equipment replacement, they can use them. But for personnel or having to use the headquarters to for aircraft, I haven't been able to repair any of this aircraft. Same with the Germans. No, I don't have any headquarters on the board yet. I know there's a couple coming, but as of now, I don't have any. So unless I'm missing a rule, if somebody can explain to me about rebuilding when there's no headquarters on the board. If somebody could give me a quick, concise on that, because maybe I'm not getting the rules right. But from what I understand, you have to have a headquarters or you have to be stacked with the replacement unit. So you've got personnel and you've got equipment replacement status. So I'm assuming that from what I understand, that infantry leg units can be replaced by personnel. And I guess if the onboard unit is stacked with the replacement, then he can soak up those replacements. But since these are all just one step, they take a loss, they're eliminated, they go to a dead pile. Well, there's nothing to stack with because you're in the dead pile. So you have to rebuild an off-board unit, and that requires a headquarters. Well, I don't have any headquarters, so I'm not sure what to do with that. Maybe you're not supposed to in this scenario. I don't know. I have not used my reserve markers yet because I don't really have any forces, although I could have done it here with the Germans. Maybe that'll be something I'll try here because the next phase, if they get the initiative, maybe I attack that first armored unit and I can test out this reserve theory here and see what happens. Maybe get some overrun or something going on. All right, well, that's the update. Still enjoying this. Can't wait to move into some of the other games. No more comment about the map. Tony's bored life thinks this looks like, I don't know, I got thinking about it. He's had a couple comments. I thought looks like hamburger helper to me. It's like the beef stroganoff hamburger helper. Here, how's that one, Tony? Does that line up? All right, we're going to move on to the fourth turn, which is the 26th of November, that week or half week. And we'll let you know as we progress. All right, hey, give it a like, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe bar, hit that notify bar if you want to keep up to date. All right, let's get this posted. Talk to you soon.